everybody uses. And with the Team Beachbody, you have so much opportunity to learn. I was telling Jessica, that's probably the most impressed I've been about Team Beachbody is the training they have, the back office, the videos, the YouTube things, your leaders upline and crossline. Everybody is so willing to help you. And so those are all the things, and they do a lot of training on how to build the business. And I'm really not going to talk about that today. I know we all have fears, and I want to talk about fear and getting through the fears, because that's usually the thing that stops us from building our business. And so I just hope I can give you a little bit of insight and that little bit of edge on things that I have learned over the years, and just a few ideas about working through fear and procrastination, and then taking the action on those things that create the income. And sometimes that's hard for us to identify, or it's hard for us to do because those are kind of scary things. And so let me just tell you really quickly just a little bit about my background. Like Jessica said, I've had a lot of, I've been an entrepreneur all my life. My dad owned a big horse and cattle ranch. And so up till college, I worked for my dad. And I had my own hours. I did a lot of work, but I worked full time in the summer and stuff. But I always had my own hours. I always had my own deal. I taught horseback riding, and so I was always an entrepreneur. And then after I got married, my husband and I, after college, we moved to New York, and I was I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Jafra Cosmetics sales manager in New York. And I built that up to a manager, and then I had my second baby there, and I kind of quit for a couple of years, but then we moved back west. And after we moved back here, we found a direct sales company that we joined together, and I loved that because I got to work with my husband. We built that business for 18 years, and that was through Quickstar and Monavie. And that's where I got most of my training. We got trained by John Maxwell. We got trained by Tony Robbins. That's where I did most of my stuff. But what happened is about 15 months into that business, the corporation we were with hired me and my husband to train cross-line people and different groups. And so that's where I kind of fell in love with training and teaching and speaking. And so I did that for about 8 years. And then just a few years ago, I'd always wanted to kind of go on my own and be a coach. And so we sold that business, and Terry went off and did some things of his own, and I went into coaching. And what I do is I speak, I mentor, I coach women entrepreneurs to help them expand their reach through automation, which we have in the Team Beachbody, and duplicatable ways. And so that you can get more done in less time. It sounds like most of you are moms. You probably have young kids running around, and you want to be the most productive with your time, so that you can get the most done in less time, so that you just don't feel like you're always trying to work your business. You have your life beside the business. And then I also want to help you conquer that little voice in your head, so that you can push through those fear walls, because fear is what stops us into moving into our true greatness. We all have this golden greatness inside of us. But sometimes that fear, or not enough confidence, or how we feel about ourselves stops us from stepping into that. So I want to talk a little bit about that. But I think a little bit, what's different about me is I blend attitude with action. You can meditate and think about things all day long, but if you don't take action on the things you need to take action on that your leaders have told you about, you're not going to get anywhere. And don't get me wrong, I'm all about crushing that little negative voice in the head. You have to replace that. You have to work on that. And you have to do, I do positive mantras every day and statements. And I have them up on my wall. They're actually posted up there. I was going to try and bring them down to show you. But the one is, I am positively expecting great results, no matter what I see in front of me. The universe is ready. The universe is ready. Self. Sounds weird. For my best interest. And so I have 3 mantras up there, and I just read them every day. But you've got to take action on those things that create an income. Like I said, but on the other hand, maybe you're busy all day, you're running around, you're spinning your wheels, you're nowhere, but you feel like you're building your business all day long. And this was what we had issues with. A lot of our people, what happened is they were always thinking about their business. They always felt like they were doing their business. And so they felt like, I am doing this 24/7, and I'm not getting where I want to be. And so it's kind of a combination of thinking the right way, but it's also a combination of doing the right things and taking action on those things that create an income for you. Can you guys still hear me? Because I'm getting a lot of back noise.
We
Is
can
this all okay?
we can hear you. Just make sure.
Mute themselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Make sure everybody's muted.
Okay. I thought maybe you couldn't hear me, so you can. Okay. So I just have like 5 points. The first one, your attitude and your mindset is huge, and it's really important. But you've got to take action on your goals, okay? You've got to create this vision. And you've got to create this vision big enough that when you have a bad day or a bad week or a bad month, that vision that you've created, whatever that is, that keeps you going. Okay, it was kind of like, I used to cruise timber when I was in college, mark trees and fight fires and stuff. And so we would actually be on a ridge, and we'd have to get to the other side. And so we would set a line, and then as you go down to the canyon, you kind of get lost and kind of get off. But as long as you kept that picture of that ridge where you needed to be on the top of that next ridge, you could always make it. So we always kind of get, sidetracked maybe in our businesses. But if you have that big vision of what you really want your business to look like, what you really want at the end of your business. For instance, one of my big visions for me is I don't have any grandkids yet. My kids are out of school, but now we're married. But one of my big visions is I want to take my kids and their spouses, when they get married, I want to take them to Disney World. That's something one of my mentors did, and I always wanted to do that. And so that's just one of my big vision, or I guess you could say big goals. That's part of my big vision. Is something, so when I get down or I have a bad day or whatever, I think about that. No, I got to keep building this business. I got to keep going, because that is out there, and it's out there far enough that it can keep me going. Now I got to tell you, last month was a tough month, and yesterday I had a really tough day. I have some family things going on, and I don't usually get depressed, but it really got me down. And so all I did is I just went, I read some of my statements. I read some parts. I have certain books that I love. This is a really great book. I'm going to show you guys. The Compound Effect. This is an excellent book for creating habits that keep you in line and keep you centered on what you're supposed to be doing. If you haven't read it, I would suggest it. Anything with Darren Hardy, I think, is really good too. But anyway, and I read quotes that kind of lift me up. One of my favorite quotes is from Sylvester Stallone in the movies he was in, the fighting movies. I can't remember what they were. He tells his son, it's not how hard you get hit. It's how hard you get hit and you still get back up. So we're going to get hit. You're going to have people that laugh in your face. You're going to have people that tell you you're leaving your children too much. That was a big one for me. That you're gone all the time, that you're, maybe not a good mom, whatever. But you've got to know that it's just, you get back up, and you know that if you have your vision and it's set in stone, you know you're doing the right thing. Okay, so the second one, how to move through fear and into the faith that you need to build your business and make your goals a reality. Well, sometimes, like I said, the goals seem too far out there, and maybe you don't have enough time, and maybe with certain goals, with your Team Beachbody, you have goals, but you're entering, you have a deadline for that goal. But maybe you're getting up to that deadline, and it's getting close, and you realize, okay, I'm going to give up because I'm not going to make that, I can tell. What you want to do is do something with your goals that makes them so big that you just keep pushing through no matter what. And it's the same thing I see. I am positively expecting great results no matter what I see in front of me. No matter what you see in front of you, no matter what anybody says, if you have your goals, you're going to be able to reach those. And so you have to kind of attach things to them. I think the easiest way is to attach emotion to them. And because emotion is a very powerful force. One of mine, I attach emotion because I'm so excited to take my married kids to Disney World, even though it's far off. But one that I want to tell you about, and it really, really helped me get that feeling. When we first joined our direct sales, I had a 4-month-old baby, I had a 4-year-old, and I had an 8-year-old. So we were busy parents. And the day when we joined, we were 2 weeks into a promotion that they were running to go to Disneyland. Well, as naive as I was, I thought, I'm going to get in here and be Diamond in, 6 months. So I thought, sure, we're going to make Disneyland. And so, we started working. We were doing okay. But what happened? My husband's an engineer. He's a numbers person. So we got about halfway there, and he started telling me, okay, not that he's, that negative, but at that time, he started telling me, okay, the numbers are not matching up. We are not going to make our sales and our goals to be able to win this trip to Disneyland. Well, in my naive little mind when I first joined, I told my kids already, I told my 2 boys, we're going to Disneyland. Our company's taking us there. It's going to be free. And so I told them that. And so what happened is because I attached that emotion, I couldn't let them down. And so my husband said, I don't think we're going to make it. And I remember I started crying. I was just standing there at his office door bawling and saying, I'm not going to not make that goal. I mean, I knew I was going to make that goal because it was so much more painful to have to tell my kids, well, sorry, but mommy and daddy didn't work hard enough and we didn't make Disneyland. So it's you've got to attach pain to not making the goal or emotion to something that is so strong in you that you'll just push through. So what I did, I said, screw it. We're going to make it. I don't know how. We're going to do it. So I just looked at what we needed to do to make it, how many people we had to get in, how much sales, all that. And then I let go of everything else. I let go of anything extra that I was doing. I let go of, even doing all the little extra things around my house that I needed to do for those. We had about 2 months left. And so I just let go. And for those 2 months, all I did is I focused right in on my goal. And we made it. We went to Disneyland. And so I'm just telling you that, not to woo-woo Julie, but just that you can do, it's amazing what you can do when you set your mind to it. When you focus in so emotionally and so tight that you're going to make it no matter what, and you just won't give failure any thought. And so that's something you can do. And I think kids are, for me, kids help me put that emotion into all my goals. They were everything. Now, I know some of you are LDS, and I have a daughter on a mission in Mississippi. And right now, I have my goals in my business, and I use her when she gets home. I have all these goals for when she gets home. We're going to have this much money to go shopping. We're actually taking them on a cruise when she gets back with our family. And some other goals, and I've attached those to that emotion of her coming back and me being able to spend that time with her and that money on her. And so there's, any way that you can attach something like that to your goals, it helps, okay? Okay, the next point I want to talk about. I want you to picture this pot with all these little caterpillars around the edge of the pot and this nice green yummy plant in the middle. And what I want this statement would be, don't confuse activity with accomplishment. Because if you put caterpillars nose to tail around that pot, they will follow each other until they drop over dead with their food right in the middle. And so what I mean by this is, don't think that just because you're thinking about your business 24/7, and it seems like you're always doing things, and you're always on Facebook, and you're working out, you're doing your exercise, you're looking on Facebook, you've got to realize that activity's great, and we want to do that. But you also have to do the things that create the income. You have to do those scary things. Mm-hmm. Now, I know, Karen and Jessica, and these guys want you to be successful. And all the structure that Team Body has put in that structure is for a reason, so that you can make oodles of money, But I know that sometimes too, you think, well, my personal purpose on this planet is to help people and make a difference. And I get that. And then mine is too. But what I want you to think of is, I want you to use that personal purpose that you want to help people, personal fuel to build your business. And when you align that with the Team Beachbody business model that's out there for you, it's like magic. Okay, so your purpose, and you want to help people, but you have to take action. You have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to take a little bit of risk. And so you have to kind of lean into that fear. And we're scared of different things. Usually the things that create the income, those are the things that are a little bit scary. Contacting people, asking them for sales, following up with them. Those are the things that sometimes we procrastinate. And there's usually very few things that creates the income. And pretty much what I told you, building your team, helping those people, get their goals. And sometimes you might feel pushy, it might be scary. You want to be able to make yourself a banner for your own business. Everywhere you are, you want them to know you're a beach body coach. Okay, and you want to take those risks. Part of the way you can do this to find out, maybe you're thinking, well, I don't really know what makes the money. Well, track your time. Find out how much time you're doing in learning, which is important, but also in marketing yourself and in contacting people or getting the sales that you need, reaching those sales goals that you have. And so learn the things in your business that create an income, and then do those things 80% of the time that you're building your business. And this does take a little bit of tracking, but you know what? You should be tracking your time. You should be tracking the results. You should know, like for instance, I knew that I could contact 10 people. 5 would let me talk to them about my business. 3 would get in, and 1 would usually do it. That was kind of how it worked for us. So you need to track all your results and things like that, because then this helps you too when you're going for a goal and you talk to like 20 people. You know that, okay, I've talked to 20 people. I know that out of that, 2 people are going to join my business from that. And it helps you not be discouraged, and it helps you push through any kind of fear or any kind of hesitancy wall that you might, have. Now, one of my goals, for instance, is, and it still is, last month I didn't do so well on it. One of my goals is to work 6 hours a day on my business. 6 intense hours. Now you got to understand this. This is like going in court and taking a sidebar. I don't have any kids at home. I'm not in your situation. I never did that when I had my kids at home. When we were building our business, I didn't usually work 6 hours a day, but I can now. And so that's one of my goals. Well, it's amazing when I start tracking that. That's tough. I didn't make it very many days last month. And so, that's another goal that I've had this month. And so you'll be surprised when you start tracking your time and what you're doing and the time that you're spending on income generating activities. You'll be surprised that sometimes it's not as much as you want it to be. And so you have to increase that. Okay. And like I said, these are the scary ones. And this is where the fear comes in. And this is where your ability to lean into it and break through that fear is going to determine your success level. Okay. We used to call it butts in the seats. That was the thing we called it, because you want, and butts in the seats meant people that are in your business, your team people that are doing the business. Because, you have a lot of people, I know, in your business that, maybe just drink this Shakeology, and that's fine. Or maybe they're just working out, and they're just, I remember Jessica said that she watched the person that got her in, she watched her for 2 years. You probably have people doing that. But you want to keep track of the people, the butts in the seats. Those are the people that are taking the actions that you need them to take. The same actions that hopefully you're taking with your business to build it. Okay, so I know that Jessica and Karen and all your upline and all the crossline, they all want you to build a wildly profitable business, and they want you to take it to the next level. So your time has to make sense. And so you figure out how much time you're putting in, and you figure out how much you're doing with that, what you're doing with that time. Now, sometimes, we jump in, and we say, okay, I'm ready to commit. Or you hear someone say this, I'm going to take the world by storm. I'm going to go diamond in 6 months. But then you get to the point where you have to take some risk, or you have to get out of your comfort zone. And there's an opportunity that might drop in your lap. And instead of being excited, you get a little scared. Then maybe you back off, you get a little nervous, and then you say, well, I'm not ready for that right now. And you procrastinate it. And maybe I'm just going to keep drinking and I'm going to keep doing the workouts and I'm just going to see if somebody asks me about the business. Well, you don't want to do that. You want to take those actions, okay? You don't want to just, you don't want to look at your business and choose certain puzzle pieces that you're comfortable with. Because if you are, you're missing out on some of the best opportunities by avoiding getting out of your comfort zone. Because I guarantee you, the best opportunities in your life, with your business, with anything, are outside of your comfort zone. The best opportunities always require you to stretch and grow and maybe be a little scared, either emotionally, financially, with your business, whatever. And this will be uncomfortable, and this, sometimes it stops you. So whatever current situation you're in, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And it actually becomes a way of life, and maybe that's the way it's been for some of you. But I guarantee you, the more you push yourself to step out of your comfort zone, and it is scary and you're petrified, then you'll get comfortable with that. And then your comfort zone grows, and then you step out a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. We actually used to, we would have contacting sessions, and we wouldn't tell our distributors, we'd tell them, come over and bring your list. We'll help you build it. Because, they have a list, just like you guys build of people that you want to talk to and relate or create a relationship with. But what we would do is, and I only tell you this, I'm not saying you have to do this, but we would have them come over, we'd have food, we'd have a party, but then one of the leaders would call the cold contact and invite them to, see a presentation. And then we would make everyone in the group do that. Well, they didn't know they were going to have to do that. It was really scary, but let me tell you, I sat there over and over and over and over again. Sometimes it took 40 minutes for them to make a phone call, and we'd have to take them into a separate room. But the minute they made that first phone call, the minute you contact your first person, it's like the fear dissolves. And that's what I mean by leaning in. Anything that you're scared of doing and you're hesitating and you're procrastinating on, all you have to do is just do it once, because the next time it'll be easier. The hard things become easy, and pretty soon it becomes a habit, and a habit that you can do and do it very easily. The first time I gave a webinar, I teach people how to do webinars online. And because I thought it would be a piece of cake. I used to speak on stage, I had a clicker, I had PowerPoints behind me. But the technology, I didn't realize how scary that was. And the first time I did it, it was really a complete disaster. Thank goodness I'd invited 3 of my friends on that webinar and nobody else. But it was black screen for 45 minutes. It was ridiculous. And it scared me so bad, I didn't do another webinar for 9 months. But the more I did, the easier it got. And that's how everything is. That's how contacting is. That's how creating a team is. That's how asking people to buy your product is. It's just pushing through or leaning against that fear wall. And the minute you step into that void, the minute you step into that black area that you're so scared about and you don't know about, it dissipates. I guarantee you it happens every time. And hopefully all of you have had some experience with that where you step through a fear wall and you've realized, oh, okay, that wasn't that scary. Because that's, and even if it's scary, you can do it again. So every leap you take is probably going to be terrifying, because every leap you take is going to take you to the next level of your business. And it's going to be a little bit scary. And so what I said before, you've got to wear this badge of honor. You've got to let people know that this is your business, and be the logo for your business. And I know a lot of you do, but even not so much. And I know you talk to people on Facebook, and that's great. But I hope also that because we're moms and because we're going to soccer games and you're going to school programs and you're on the PTO or you're on a committee or you're meeting with moms or you're meeting with whoever, that you let people know, not just by saying it, you don't need to do that, but you let people know what you do. I know that there's a lot of T-shirts and logos you can wear about Team Beachbody. When you're, when in our business, people would say, well, I'm going to the mall, I'm going to contact people. Well, you don't want to make it a separate thing. It's just everywhere you are, if the conversation comes up, and you can kind of make it come up, you want to tell people what you do, or you just want to find out what they do and if they're happy with it. One thing I used to say all the time is whenever I was shopping, anytime I was shopping, anytime I talked to the clerk, I would always praise them on, oh my goodness, this is such a great job. This is awesome, and they'd say, well, not really. I'd say, really? Well, it seems like you make a lot of money. And they'd say, no, or whatever the conversation. My line was, well, do you ever look at other ways of making money? You know what? They always said yes. And then I would tell them what I did. And you can do that anywhere. And so don't have your life with your kids or your family and then your business separate. It should be just all in the mix. Okay, so then sometimes, no matter what you do, you're going to make a mistake. And then that little voice in your head is going to say negative things to you. Who do you think you are? What are you doing? You don't know enough. You're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not skinny enough. What are you doing? You're telling people about beach. There's so many things that your little voice tells you. And so the best way to conquer that is to develop habits to either replace that little voice or get rid of it. And so you develop habits through, a lot of different ways and stuff. The meditation or saying the mantras to you every day. A big thing, and hello, all of us are doing this, the exercise, good eating habits, and plenty of water. One of my sons struggles with depression, and the doctor told us that to keep his water content, he's supposed to drink 8 to 9 glasses of water. I guess that helps with depression. And so, you are all already right there with the exercise, because that helps your negative mind a lot. That helps you be more positive. It helps you with the endorphins and stuff. But another little trick I want to tell you is called bookending your days. This is such a wonderful deal to do. What it is all you do is you create a little routine in the morning, and then you create a little routine at night. And this routine is like, for instance, I get up, I stretch, do exercise, I drink my Shakeology, I read my mantras on the wall. Sometimes I read a few quotes. I don't read a book because my mind's going 90 miles an hour in the morning, but you could. That's what I do in the morning. And then when I come home at night, I do similar things, but I always go over my goals. Well, no matter how sucky my day goes, I started out positive, and I end my day positive. And so that helps, so that when I sit down in my bed, I know that, okay, I get to read my positive things, I get to read this good book, I get to go over my goals, I get to realign myself for tomorrow. And it's just a way, it's called booking your days, and it just helps you to keep that positive attitude no matter what happened during your day. Okay, so then 5, your most valuable asset is you. And so it's so important to build you. Get the training, talk to your upline, attend all their events. Be the first one there. Be the first one on the first row. Be the last one there asking questions. I know when we were around our upline and when I'm around, I have 2 mentors here. I'm always asking them questions. I don't really talk about, trivial things. I ask them questions about how to do something or what they're thinking or how they think on something. When it comes to your growth and success, you can only grow as far as your greatest fear. And that's why you really have to work on your fear. And the thing that makes you most uncomfortable, the biggest fear, that's usually the biggest wall that you come up against. That's usually your biggest opportunity. And so what I want you to do is any kind of fear wall you come up against, I want you to look at that wall like it's transparent. And I want you to see through that all the things that the happiness and the joy and the diamond or whatever it is that you're trying to get to. And then I want you to see a combination on that wall. And that combination that opens that, it's the lock that opens the door, that is moving through your own fear and your own insecurities and your doubt. And part of that is building you up and realizing how much smartness and energy and golden things and skills and talents that you have inside yourself. And you always want to be building those and learning from the people around you. Learn from the people that you want to be around, okay? Because remember, you're in the 5%. We're all entrepreneurs. that's like 5% of people. And so you might, you're going to be made fun of. And sometimes you're made fun of people that you really care about. Sometimes it might even be, everyone isn't interested in your success. I mean, shocker, huh? I had a really, really, really good friend. I mean, this friend did everything for me. And when I got into our business with my husband, every time after that, I told her how I wanted to buy a new house. Every time she saw me, we went to lunch a lot. I mean, this was for years. She would tell me, so, let's get that big house. And it made me feel bad. I mean, it really hurt my feelings. But I just, not yet, we're getting there. And we did eventually. But it was quite a long time. And it really hurt my feelings. But you just have to shut that out. And so I know a lot of times, too, that might be a member of your family. It might be a spouse. It might be your kids. And so my last point is, I want you to understand, you want to build this kind of a business. You don't want to build your business over here and have your family over here. When we were coaching and stuff, I would hear people say, well, I don't want to leave my kids, and I don't want to, we involved our kids. Like I said, we had young kids, and my daughter was 18, the little 4-month-old, she was 18 when we sold our business. And so we did it the whole time they're growing up. But what we did is involve your kids in your business. Let them know what you're doing. And everything you buy with business money, make sure you have separate accounts. And, when you buy something, I don't care how big it is. If you buy lunch with business money, you let your kids know, hey, we're at McDonald's and we're buying McDonald's food because of mommy doing this business or daddy doing this business, if you're doing it together. And so you want to make sure that they know that. I remember when we got to the point where we bought our first car with the money we made for our business. We hauled our kids down to that car. It was a used car. We hauled our kids down there. We put them in. We let them know this car is because we did this business. Because we did leave them. And when they were little, they did cry. But they survived. And I wanted them to know, hey, we're building your lifestyle with what we're doing. And we incorporated. We set goals for them. One of the things we did that our kids really liked, and you have to decide what it is for your family, but don't ever set goals that their reward is determined on what you do. You want their reward to be determined on what they do. So our kids were young, and we would tell them, if you don't cry when we leave, or if you obey the babysitter, or if you do your chores with the babysitter, and if you do it for X amount of time, we always had a parameter, then what we did is we always took them to a hotel right here in Boise. We'd find some deals, and we'd take them overnight. We'd get there the minute we could check in. We ordered food, we let them swim, we watched movies, and then we stayed till the checkout the next day. Our kids loved that. And so that was one thing that we incorporated, and we always told them, we're going to go on a business trip, and that's what business trips were. And so that's really important, because as they see what you're doing, and they see what your business is bringing to their lives and to their lifestyle, they'll embrace it more. Spouses will embrace it more. Kids will embrace it more. They'll understand. And I guarantee you'll see a difference if you have young kids and they do cry when you leave. That was a big thing for me. It just killed me, But they started understanding, and then they understood, okay, if I'm not crying, then we get to go to the motel, or we get to go get ice cream, or, set whatever it is. And so that's kind of my last thing, is just make sure that you're building your business as a family. Have your kids help you. Talk to your spouse about the things that you want to do. Buy him something if that helps, And my last little thing is a mentor that we used to work with in our old business. He would always walk around and say, I expect and depend on miracles. And that's what you have to do. Miracles, somebody put a quote on Facebook, and I can't remember who it was, but it was by Joseph Smith. I think it was from this last conference. Miracles are the fruits of our faith. And so through your faith, you'll see these miracles happen. But you've got to expect these miracles. Any kind of miracle that you want in your business, you have to expect it. And I love that. I expect and depend on miracles. And if you do move forward in faith, and if you work on pushing through those fear walls and letting those dissolve, and if you work on you and realizing that the greatest gift that you have for your business is you. So you want to work on that constantly, and and jump up and have the confidence to know that you can lead people and that you can make this a huge, huge business. And you have all these wonderful upline people to help you. And so that's all I have. We'll open it up for questions. I hope I haven't taken too long. It's been great. Thanks, Jessica, for giving me this time. I love teaching about this stuff. So if anybody has any questions, just go for it.
Feel free to unmute yourselves too if you do have a question. I think I just saw somebody come unmuted. Did I talk before them?
Oh, I unmuted myself. I didn't necessarily have a question, but just wanted to say thank you to Julie. That was a wonderful presentation that she did, so really appreciate her time.
Yeah, I have like 3 pages of notes, Julie. That was amazing.
Good, thanks.
I think we're very lucky that we got to, I felt like I was sitting at Summit. Like I can see you talking up at Summit. And we had a little mini Summit today on our team call. Thanks to Julie. I love where you said to track your business and to set your goals and to track those goals. That's so important. And that's something that I need to get better at doing. Tracking my goals to see how closely I've met them. My other favorite thing you said was to wear your badge of honor. That was like such great advice. And I think all of us on here are LDS, so nobody will be offended, but literally the whole time I listened to conference, I just kept thinking, like, what we are doing with helping people and being the light and bringing the light back into people is exactly what our church leaders want us to do too. Like, there's a way to just influence people and to be the light and to wear your badge of honor and to stand true to who you are. And if you share your testimony and you share you, it's going to attract people, and people, you know, people are going to be more attracted to you, and your business is going to grow. And where you said to, where did I put it? The positive projection, that is like so huge. And I completely 1,000,000% agree with that. When we project out into the world, greatness comes back to us. And I think when we start to feel scared or we start to feel like nothing's working for us, it's that we're projecting our fear out into the world, and the world can feel it. So when we're projecting greatness, we receive greatness. And those were just a few of my favorite takeaways. Anybody else have a favorite that they want to share? No? I also wanted to, you have one, Jill?
Oh, I was just going to say, I always love hearing about, stepping outside of our comfort zone. And I really like how she said that our best opportunities exist outside of our comfort zone. We can't stay within our comfort zones and expect great things. Though those great things exist outside of our comfort zones. And I think it's so true what she said that, I remember the first personal message invite I sent on Facebook. I think it took me 20 minutes to hit the send button because I was so terrified of sending it. But then after I sent it and I got, a positive response back, even though it wasn't a yes, they were still friendly about it. It was all of a sudden, oh, that wasn't so scary. And now I can click off those invites, without hardly any fear. So it's so true that she said that the more we do it, it becomes a habit. And that fear starts to diminish.
Yep, I always, as much as I want to punch Autumn when I'm doing my workouts, every time she says, you're never going to change if you don't, what's the exact quote she says? You're never going to see changes if you do the same things every day. So if you're repeating the same behaviors every day, you're never going to see change unless you are jumping out of your comfort zone and pushing yourself a little bit more. And every time she says that, I'm like, she is so right. just keep pushing. But then it keeps going off in my mind throughout the day, thinking like, if I want these big, scary goals that I have set for myself, I can't do the same things every day that are not bringing me towards those goals. I have to jump out and push for them, and it's scary. But like Julie said, her goal to take her family to Disneyland, when you have such a I am going to do this no matter what, it really keeps you going. And I also loved how you said to involve your kids. I've worked a little bit off and on all the time. My kids have been being raised, but it's always been at home here in the salon. And they know that they have to set their boundaries and they can't come down and bother me when I'm working. But when I first started doing this, they didn't understand because mom's working, but I'm sitting right here at the kitchen table. And after they started seeing the paychecks come in, and I did, tell them, I set this goal, and my goal is to be diamond. And my son would come home every Thursday and be like, Mom, are you diamond yet? And then I said, I have this coach, and she's about to go diamond. And there was 3 weeks, and he's like, Mom, is Karen diamond yet? He was so excited. And, I do share my goals with my kids. And now when they come home from school, most of the time, and I'm at the computer, they're kind and respectful and excited, and they get off the phone. I get off and they're like, oh, did you hit your goals, Mom? So I think it is our kids. And I watched I don't remember if it was Lindsay Matway and she posted on Facebook or something, but her daughter was talking about Shakeology to the waitress at the restaurant. Her 6-year-old daughter was like, do you drink Shakeology? Because you should. You would feel so much happier if you did. So we can set the stage and involve our kids. I love how you said that. And Travis didn't really see the vision. He was definitely supportive, and he said, go for it, and if you're going to do it, don't quit. I want you to go all in. Don't quit. Be brave. Face your fears. But then there was times that he was like, okay, well, you're being brave and you're putting all of your time into your business. What about me? But as soon as I started involving him and asking him questions and saying, you know what, I have a webinar I have to do tonight. I'm super nervous about it. Give me some confidence. Help me out. What's something I should say? He's an entrepreneur too, and he just wanted, I think, to be more involved. And so if your husbands are struggling with supporting you or understanding the business, I don't think we really have much of that on this team, gratefully. I know there's other coaches in our upline that, especially Melanie Mitro, it took 2 years. It took until she was literally making $15,000 a week for her husband to be like, oh, I see your vision. So we're all very blessed that our husbands support us and stand behind us, but definitely when your family feels involved, they will be more excited to be involved. So that's all I wanted to share today was just with conference, I literally just felt like we are kind of being missionaries too. When we are sharing our light and our God-given gifts and being bold and moving past our fear and sharing who we are and sharing our own testimonies, not being afraid who thinks what of us for sharing and just shining our light, we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. So be that light, share the opportunity, spread the joy. Don't let this business stress you out. It's not meant to be stressful. Literally just as you grow you and develop you and you share your change with the world in a positive, uplifting way, your business will move forward. So thank you so much for talking to us. I'm going to record. I've got it recording, so I'll upload it into the team page. What would you like me to title it? Do you have a specific title you want me to put on it?
I don't know. Maybe just something about fear, stepping through your fear.
Stepping through your fear? Or
and taking action on the fear, I guess.
What's that?
Something I might What's that?
Go ahead.
Something that you can, we all have fears, and you don't have to just face the fears in your business. That you want to get used. Like I said, you want to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And one time I was on a trip, and I found that the thing right here. I found a little magnet, and it says, "Do one thing every day that scares you." Well, that doesn't have to be something in my business either. But if you do one thing every day that scares you, maybe make a scary phone call, or I don't know, just try a new exercise or something that's makes you a little nervous, where you get used to that fear, then it does start to get easier and easier and easier, and you actually start getting I don't know, it's hard to explain, but you actually start getting comfortable with fear. Probably like you, when you do webinars or when you talk in front of people, you're always still a little nervous, but it isn't like it's a big fear because you've done it so many times, or you've faced fear so many times. And it's the same what Jill said about making those posts on Facebook. It can be anything. It can be anything in your life. But if you just always are pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, then that kind of flows over into all of your life, including your business. And it flows over and it gives you more confidence no matter what you're doing. And so then that helps you with the really scary things of contacting people or, like that. And all you have to do is, if you're scared to talk to people about your business, then just make a goal of saying hi and a nice thing to someone. And then the next week, okay, this week, every time I talk to someone, you're going to take it a little step farther. You're going to ask them, do they exercise? Maybe it does nothing to do with the business even. And then the next week, you just keep pushing that parameter out until you feel comfortable with talking to people about your business. And then pretty soon, like I said, it's just a badge of honor. You're just wearing it all the time, and it's no big deal. And it does get to that point. It really does.
It does. I love where you said to do something that steps out of your comfort zone. A couple of years ago, I went to therapy, and I was just like, I am literally the most depressed person. I hate myself. I hate to be around myself. What do I do? And literally the very first question she asked me was, when was the last time you were scared? And I'm like, I'm scared every day. What do you mean? I'm scared of my shadow. I'm scared of everything. And she said, okay, but when was the last time that you set a goal for yourself that was really scary and you went after it? And I sat there thinking, well, I don't think about myself. I have 3 kids, and I don't have goals for myself. I have goals for everybody around me, and they're not meeting them, and I'm mad. And she was like, well, that's your first assignment. You need to start setting goals for yourself that are scary and facing your fears every day on something little that was scary. And Jill was with me at that time, and I said, Jill, I'm scared to death to swim in open water. I still am, but I said, we're going to do a triathlon. And she was like, okay, let's do it. And that was one of the biggest things that was such a big, scary, ugly spider for me, was to do a triathlon. And that was, when it really struck me that the only way to really grow your self-confidence and to grow your wholehearted you is to face your fears and to do something scary every day. It literally just changes you. Just like you said, you start to wear a badge, you start to hold your head higher, you start to feel proud. And I see that in all of you. I see that, and that's what gets me up in the morning. And that's what keeps me going and learning in this business, is watching all of you stepping out of your comfort zones and making those scary YouTube videos and putting your hearts out on Facebook. And it makes me so proud to see all of you guys doing that. So keep it up.
And sometimes if you feel like you just can't, do a scary thing, have one of your upline or somebody, your friend, help push you through that. Mm-hmm. And that's why we would invite those people over and take them in a room and we would make them do one phone call. And it was amazing to me, because I always felt a little like, oh, I'm kind of being mean. But it was amazing to me if they couldn't do it on their own, and we would make them make the phone call unless they there was just very few people that wouldn't. But the minute they made that first really scary phone call, then it was like, okay, that wasn't that bad. And that's, you make fear up to be, or whatever it is on the other side, up to be way different and way more scary than it really is. And so you just have to step through it. And if you can't, have someone held you accountable to doing whatever it is that's scary.
Absolutely. When you were just saying that, it reminded me. Does anybody know the definition of fear? I have this written in my bathroom.
False evidence appearing real.
Yep. That's all it is. And when you look at it that way, you're like, so you're telling me I'm making this up in my head? Yes, you are. You are making yourself scared. I can't say that I don't make myself scared every day, because I do. But I'm pushing through it with the help of all of you guys. So I love this call. You guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to put a pinned post at the top of our team page so that we can put all of our drop a penny in for your business activities that you've done through the day, so that we don't fill up the entire news feed for our pennies. So it's going to be at the pinned post. And Julie, you missed last week because you were presenting somewhere, but we're doing a penny a day, just taking a picture of dropping in our penny. When we do our activities that build our business, we're putting in a penny a day and doing our business activities, not scrolling Facebook, our actual scary things that are going to build our business. So up in
income generating.
Yes. So keep up posting. I want to see all of your guys' jars that you're putting your pennies into. There was a day that Jill put in a dime or a quarter because she was like, I worked really hard today. And I really want us to make sure that at the end of this month, we don't all feel like we did last week at the end of last month. We all felt defeated, exhausted, beat down. We'd all heard a bunch of no's. So let's try really hard to bust through the first 3 weeks of this month, so that the last crazy week where Halloween and kid parties and everything, we can just be happy knowing that we got our business to where we needed to go. If we didn't hit our goals, we at least worked as hard as we possibly could. And we're not going to be all using that last week of October as a great big push and then a devastation. So I see a couple of people with some of their goals close for the month, and it's only the 6th, so that's awesome. My goal is to at least hit Success Club 5 by the 15th. Then I won't be so worried about it for the rest of the month. If it doesn't happen, though, it doesn't happen. But that's my goal. So you guys know where to find us if you have any questions. And thank you again, Julie, for taking your time and giving us all these great knowledge. I literally feel like I have like 35 Facebook posts just on inspiration from what you said. So thank you for all of that. I love all of you guys, and I hope you all have a good day.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.